Good day everyone, welcome to a new video of the Wrecked Show. Everybody who longed at 6-9 because of some people who were shouting that we were bullish, my condolences. Well, price did reject at 6-9, which was the crucial level for me to break up, and which is still looking quite similar to the movements we have seen previously with any bottom formation. But we'll come to the long-term view in a bit. The short-term view, as you can see, we bounced on the 6k level. I did not put this level here to show that this is support. You can just scroll back to my old videos and see that I've had this level for a while already. Nice short-term distribution period here in which we made bearish divergence, breakdown, not that much volume, through which I assume we are just going to be ranging for a little bit more before we go down. And there are a few scenarios that I'm watching, and for that we have to check the other chart I'm having, which shows the monthly and the weekly levels. The brown one is the weekly level, black are or yearly or monthly levels. Doesn't really matter that much. And what we see here is that we broke below one of these levels, which is 6.4. So as we lost the trend here, didn't break above 6.9, which was necessary for any bullish momentum further, as I've been describing in the previous updates. We can see whether 6.4 or 6.560 are going to be resistance. So what I want is that we have to see some rejection here, and we are probably facing that pretty soon. If we don't reject the 6.4, we're going to see one at 6.560 probably. However, if we clear this level for a move like this and we confirm it, then this is a whole fake out, and then I'm assuming we're going to see 7.5, 7.6, maybe A2, and then we are in bullish momentum. But if we do not break through this level here, I assume we're going to see a new impulse wave down. And then the discussion comes up. So what my plan is still remaining the same. Alongside with the group, we closed the majority of our positions at the 6.6, 6.9 range, and I'm just patiently waiting to see where I can see a long opportunity coming in. If we hit 5.8 and we create some bullish divergence on the smaller time frames, then I'd be seeing some bounces upwards and through which we range here, which is quite similar to the phase we've seen here, before we start to drop further down. But I'll come to that discussion in a bit. So the levels that I'm watching short term are 6.4, 6.560. If we, that's not what I want. 6.560, that's not what I want. It's Saturday. 6.560 for shorts. If we clear that, then I'd be backing long. I already took some profits at 6,075. If we drop back down, I'm looking at this range here at 56.75, 58. If we just slam dunk through it, that's also possible. Then my next zone is around 52.75, which is a monthly level. So that should be holding for a while at least, creating some range for the next period. And if the movements are going to be sideways for a while, then you should be expecting to see altcoins to make some movements. Is this the correct one? Well, yeah, we can use this one. If we check the daily time frame, we can see that on many bottom formations, here is one, there's one here as well, and the whole bottom formation we've been discovering here, and we've managed to use these in the previous videos as well. And there are plenty of backtesting and bottom formations in the previous years showing how we bottom out. Given that the previous support at 6.9 is not providing support and confirmed resistance, I assume that we might see the 6.5 as discussed in the last minutes and then go back down. Then the crucial part kicks in, through which Are we going to find a bottom in the 5-2 area, which is around the 200 weekly MA? Would be wonderful. However, if we are not, what should be expecting then from the market? Well, and then we go to the bigger time frame. I'll just use the Kraken one, which is a bit more clean. Let's go. This, I do not see this as a bullish movement here. Then we add the 100 weekly MA, the 200 weekly MA, and MA. And we'll add the 300 weekly MA. Why am I adding the 300 weekly MA? Is that we've had support at the 200 weekly MA here. There's less data here, so then you can't see it. But if we go to the Bitstamp one, you can see that we've found support here after clearing below the 100 weekly MA. If we go to the Kraken one, we are rejecting here at the 100 weekly MA, and we are resting at the 200 weekly MA. But given that I'm expecting this market cycle to take longer than the previous one, and I'm expecting a further drop down to occur, which means that if we drop below 5.2, we're going to see 4.8 and probably 4.238 for a bullish divergence bottom formation, as we have been discussing. And then I'm mainly watching the 300 weekly MA to confirm support. If the 300 weekly MA is going to confirm support, you will see a bottom formation in the months coming, through which I assume that we're not going to drop further, despite the equity markets to probably crash down like never seen before. But if we bottom out like we have seen over here, then we are going to expect a real bullish market to occur in 2021. That's still my main scenario for now. So that my main scenario is that we drop down, hit around 3.5, 3.2 maybe with a wick, and then start moving sideways. And if we move sideways in this area here, or at least somewhere, if we hit 5.2, 4.8 and then move sideways, that's also fine. But I guess we have to see some sort of accumulation. That's the period where you will see altcoins outperform. It's the same we have seen here. Altcoins started to move really hard in the first period, after which Bitcoin followed. So if we make another drop down and you'll be able to buy altcoins on a very low price, before, for example, Ether at $80 or whatever, I wouldn't be shorting them there. I'd be just buying them and accumulating them, because they will be big winners in the next few years, the next bull run to occur. So what are you expecting from the Bitcoin markets overall? Well, we can see that, let's go back to the weekly, that let's go to this one. We can see that the cycles, this one, we can't really use this one as a cycle. Oh, I have to use the date price range. Date range. 44 is a year. This took a little more, 3, and this took even more, 1500 days, about 4 years from now. So if we just assume that 50 days is going to be 50% or around 50% is going to be it, I assume that the next bull market will be taking longer than the previous one. As you can see in this area, we held the 100 weekly MA. In the second cycle we held the 200 weekly MA, and I'm assuming in the third cycle we're going to hold the 300 weekly MA, through which I'm not expecting the market to make a new all-time high or a peak bubble until at least 2024, 2025. If you go back to the dot-com bubble and analyze that, through the 90s it was making peak highs, after which it retraced also 70-80%, even Amazon did, after which the boom came in 2000, and now 18 years later the new peak cycle occurred. biggest news cycles, majority of the cycle, it takes longer to make a new peak all-time high. And I'm still bullish on crypto, still bullish on gold and commodities, not on the short term, but I am on the long term. So through that, I assume we are going to hold at least the 300 weekly MA, maybe wick to 3.5, and then we are accumulating until we break out, and then we make the peak all-time high in 2024, 2025 or so. I think I'm gonna take the Bitcoin only video today. We could analyze some of the equity markets, but as you can see, it's not really looking that bullish at this moment. There's no clear point to be longing the market here after we've just lost the uptrend and just broke down. 5.8 as discussed, 5.6, 5.8 is the first area I'd be interested in for some longing, and then we could see some sideways movements before a further drop down occurs. If you use the daily time frame and you just check the trend line, it's gonna take some time until we bottom out. Probably gonna be around May, June, maybe even the halving is gonna be the bottom. Who knows? But for clear bullish momentum, I just want to see the 6.9 getting back above. Then the relief bounce on the equity markets. We've seen one, and I just do not understand why we're moving up 25% since the low. 25%, yes. Probably it's just a dead cat bounce and just technical. There's 3.2 million people who have a jobless claim the past week, which is 500% above the previous all-time high. And we've discussed that through such a drop, the first drop is always around 35 to 50%. Well, this one was 40%, bouncing on 18k. Now it's rejecting at the first level at 21.8. The main level is here. So what you could expect is that we go back down again and consolidate here for a while until we start to continue falling down. There's absolutely no point to be bullish on the equity markets at this point, given that the coronavirus numbers are just skyrocketing in the States, through which I assume that there's at least going to be a lockdown pretty soon, which is going to be painful for the economy. If there's not going to be a lockdown, then there's going to be a ton of debt, which is also not going to be good for the economy. So at least the other parts of the world will be in lockdown, which is also damaging a big portion of the American companies. So there's just no point in being bullish at them. And through this, there's quite often also a bounce after such a drop down, after which we just come down to confirm for support and consolidate for a while and make the structure. But I guess we're just gonna fall down until 2022 and then make the bottom, or maybe even 2023. So that's just my view for today. I know it's a bit blurry, but I hope it's still understandable. I wish everyone a wonderful weekend. I'll be back tomorrow with the requests and probably some new updates on the price movements.